Today, we're in our fifth and final installment of our 5-part series on goal setting. Last week, we explored goal setting to the now. Today, we discuss 3 things to avoid. First, it's important to consider the kinds of goals you're setting. Are they extrinsic goals, the perfect six-pack, a luxury car, some kind of social status or form of recognition? Or intrinsic goals, deepening relationships, personal growth, family and community contributions? There's nothing necessarily wrong with extrinsic goals, but psychologists say that focusing on predominantly extrinsic goals leads to being less psychologically stable. So instead, we want to orient toward more intrinsic goals, which are more enjoyable to pursue as well as more satisfying to obtain. Second, when working toward a goal, there's a real tendency to split on our goals. What does that mean? Well, let's say we have 3 components to our goal, and we fall short on one of those 3 areas. When we resort to black and white, all or nothing thinking, and consider ourselves total failures, we're splitting on our goals. Here's an example. Students will make a 4-point improvement on the ACT or a 150-point improvement on the SAT and beat themselves up about it because it was shy of their big picture goal. It's sometimes counterintuitive, but celebrating progress instead of berating imperfection is not only better for students' mental health, but also actually removes the weight of the daunting standard they're holding themselves to and actually enables them to perform more optimally and get better results. A more empowering perspective, a 4-point improvement is en route to a 6-point improvement. Celebrate your success of improving, reflect on lessons learned, refine your plan, and get working on the next iteration of your goal. We've already alluded to it, but the third thing to avoid is negative self-talk. In the parable of the 2 wolves, a grandfather explains to his grandson, in life, there are 2 wolves inside of us which are always at battle. One is a good wolf, which represents like kindness, bravery, and love. The other is a bad wolf, which represents things like greed, hatred, and fear. The grandson stops and thinks about it for a second. Then he looks up at his grandfather and asks, "Grandfather, which one wins?" The grandfather replies, "The one you feed." So let's bring it back to you. Which wolf are you feeding these days? Rather than trying your best to quiet the voice of your inner critic, which can be absolutely draining, I challenge you to instead let your inner cheerleader's encouraging voice be so loud that it totally drains out that inner critic. So, in line with focusing on the positive instead of the negative, let's reframe our 3 things to avoid as 3 things to strive for. 1. Set an intrinsic goal that fires you up. 2. Focus on and celebrate progress en route to that goal. And 3, be your own biggest cheerleader, being encouraging with each triumph and compassionate with each setback. And remember, you got this.